Kent, thank you for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Appreciate it. So everyone out there in podcast land and YouTube land, I went to a farmer's market after my kids' basketball game, and you were there, and I was like, that seems like the coolest product here. And I sampled it, and I will not sample people's stuff. Sometimes I'm not going to buy it. I don't want to waste. I understand what it's like to be a business owner, but I was like, I'm going to buy your thing. So yeah, let me sample all of them. And so your company is Manu Brewing.
Yep.
And you make Sparkling Mamaki Tea.
Yep. We are the world's only Sparkling Mamaki currently.
The world's only Sparkling Mamaki. So I want to get into who are you, where are you from, where you went to school, how'd you make this, and all of that sort of stuff. But you also make a hop water as well?
Yeah, so this company started as a hop water business. Hop water being
is that
beer
like
substitute.
Non-alcoholic beer?
Yeah.
Is that essentially what mainstream non-alcoholic beer is, hop water?
So I guess the non-alcoholic beer I think of is Athletic Brewing, and those ones they start off as a beer and then they extract out the alcohol. Oh. So you're still getting all of that flavor, but it's going to be sweeter because
the barley.
Yeah, there's the fermentable sugars in there that are not being fermented by any yeast because there's no alcohol. Yeah. So yeah, that one is, you go try them and be like, oh, that tastes like a beer, but it's very sweet. Yeah. And then you're still getting all the calories.
All the calories, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So not that many years ago, hop water became a thing.
I didn't know about it till you. When was this? Maybe 2 months ago or 6 weeks ago or something?
Yeah, around there.
I was like, oh. To my point about drinking with my brother-in-law, guys, the hop water is an even better solution.
Yeah, yeah, and that's what I made hop waters for. So I initially started brewing my own beer, and I was just brewing 5 gallons at a time, had 5 taps, so just too much beer altogether. Yeah. And I was like, I need a healthy alternative, so I started dabbling in the hop water. I was like, this is actually pretty good. Yeah. And then I kind of exclusively started only drinking hop waters. And
what do you mean? When it was time to drink, you exclusively drink hop waters? Well, throughout the day you were drinking hop water?
When I just felt like having a drink.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, having a beer or something. I'm like, I'll just have a hop water instead.
Yeah, yeah.
It tastes good and I don't feel junk after I drink it.
There's an art to it. There's flavor. There's carbonation.
Absolutely. Okay. Yeah. So the goal was to start a business with hop waters because there's no regulations. There's no liquor license required.
Oh yeah.
It's just you go to the Department of Health, make sure you're certified, sanitary, all that kind of stuff. Work out of a commercial kitchen. Okay. Start a business that way, and I was like, okay, I'll do that, get traction, and then start a brewery because breweries are hundreds of thousands of dollars. And I was like, I don't have that kind of money.
Yeah, yeah.
But what happened along the way was I just stopped drinking altogether. And I was like, well, if I'm not drinking, do I want to pursue this brewery type thing?
So now you don't even drink beer?
Or just for a while, I wasn't drinking at all. And then now I just, drink occasionally.
Yeah,
yeah. But yeah, so when I got into the hop waters, it just stuck. The issue is not a lot of people know about it.
Yeah, I was like, what? And then I was like, this should have been a thing a long time ago. Yeah. This should be a bigger thing. Yeah, I was like, oh, it's brilliant.
Yeah, so creating the market for something is really difficult.
Yeah.
And the other issue is people would just rather have a beer.
Yeah. It's like local bradas, too.
Yeah.
What is that?
Yeah.
Hop water, yeah.
So I like to use it in between beers. You're going to go out for a night and you want to stay hydrated, have a beer, have one of these in between beers, and then you're not super hungover the next morning.
That's the marketing ploy.
Yeah.
No hang, hamajang or something like something to combat hangovers.
I should have contacted you for my slogan.
Yeah.
No, but so I also made one with electrolytes. Yeah, that one was tailored specifically to I don't want to be hungover in the morning. Let me just pound a couple of these at the end of the night.
Yeah.
Wake up feeling pretty good.
Taper off to those.
Yeah.
What, bro? Switch to no hang. We start drinking no hang. I could see guys doing it. I could see guys doing it.
Maybe I'll rebrand it.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, so at a certain point, I just stopped drinking alcohol and just started drinking those.
Okay.
At the markets, people were like, oh, this is cool, this is novel, but not a lot of people were like, this is what I want for the rest of my life. There were some people that already knew hop water and like, I'm so happy there's a local one, this is awesome.
Okay.
But then the other issue is none of the ingredients in that are from Hawaii. So hops don't grow in Hawaii.
Is it too warm here?
Yeah, they need a certain amount of cold, but also like a certain amount of darkness.
You can get New Zealand hops though, huh? At least it's Polynesian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you got to trace like where does that money really go to?
Yeah. Okay.
So getting to a point where I'm in a farmer's market, I'm like, I'm making it here in Hawaii, but none of my products have anything from Hawaii.
Yeah.
And the plan was to put mamaki into these hop waters to make it a hop tea. But when I was experimenting, I was like, man, this tastes really good by itself. So I started with this is our classic Sparkling Mamaki Tea. This one just has mamaki in it. And I was like, that's super good. I'm going to market that and sell it. And then I moved on to the lavender. And for the longest time, I just had these two. And people loved them. Like, I just had to tell them, like, oh, it's a native Hawaiian plant, and you can make a tea with it. And people know what tea is, so you don't got to sell the person
And what is that thing about mamaki? It's like it's blood. It helps you to lower your blood sugar. What are the other?
Yeah, so it's full of antioxidants, specifically catechin, rutin, and chlorogenic acid, I believe is what I have a hard time remembering that one, but I'm pretty sure it's that one. And so catechin and rutin, it actually has a higher concentration of those antioxidants in mamaki than regular tea.
Okay.
And those antioxidants are the ones that help regulate blood pressure, help with digestion, help with brain function as well.
Yeah.
So like you're getting all of the benefits from regular tea, but at a higher concentration, and all of this is local. So we get our mamaki from Waimanalo and Hilo. And yeah, we don't have to. I do have to fly it over from the Big Island, but that's a shorter distance than New Zealand or Washington.
Your uncle's already coming home from the Big Island. It's all good.
Yeah, actually, so I got 10 pounds of mamaki from the Big Island. My sister lives there. Oh, yeah. She lives in Kona. The mamaki farm was in Hilo. While she was in Hilo, I was like, can you pick up this bag for me? And yeah, it was just big 10-pound bag of mamaki leaves. And then my mom went and visited, and then she grabbed that 10-pound bag and flew it back for me. So
Sherpas. Yeah. Perfect. Yeah.
I got to find a more efficient method still.
Well, I mean, when that works, that's beautiful. So there's the standard herbal, which is sparkling mamaki, the lavender, which might have been my favorite. I bought a 4-pack. I think the lavender was my favorite. I know I've enjoyed it so much, I've tried to find it since. What is this one?
That one is
mint.
Mamaki with mint.
Okay.
And then there's a fourth one, but everybody here already grabbed them because they're so good.
Oh yeah.
The ginger. So the mamaki with ginger.
Oh yeah. Jody and Mahi grabbed the ginger.
Yeah. But the cool thing is, so the mint and the ginger we get from the Pro Age Farmers Market. So whenever I'm there on Saturdays selling these, I stop by the farmers that are selling produce and pick out the best ginger and mint that I can find.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. So brewing beer, how'd you get into that? You're a beer nerd? Like, I used to be back in I got stationed in California in the end of 2007 in the Coast Guard. And there was this real beer nerd guy. And so I started getting into it like 08, 09. It was still kind of underground at that time. And then a few years later, people start trading beer. So people would have a closet full of collector beers, and then you could there's special boxes for mailing them to other people, or stand outside in line to get a special release of a beer that only 200 are being made, and $40, $50, $60 a beer. I got super into it, and then as I do with things, I started to obsess. I started to brew. And some, I made like 5 batches. A couple came out really good, and then some didn't. And but in any case, like you, I decided this isn't really healthy. And I am kind of obsessed. I'm overboard with things. So how about we just do something different? I even had a T-shirt brand called Forward and Craft. And we were all into it. And then it just epiphany. I was like, I'm gaining weight. This is horrible. Maybe, I don't know, it'd be cool to start a revolution of people brewing other things that are more healthy and promoting them.
Yeah.
Yeah. How'd you get into the whole brewing in general? You're an engineer background, right?
Yeah. So that definitely, like, I love making stuff, tinkering, all that kind of stuff. So this was pre-pandemic that I started getting into it. And then when the pandemic hit, I was like, well, this is perfect. Like, I
got nothing but time.
got all this time. I'm stuck at home. Let's like really get into it. And
I'm gonna crack one open.
yeah, go for it. Yeah, it's just really fun. So like, there's the chemistry side of it. There's the mechanical side of it, where you gotta like make sure all of your equipment is right, understand like flows and things like that. And so just putting all that together, like all that science in a practical manner, it was really fun for me.
Yeah.
I still to this day don't like the cleaning. Like cleaning beer
Yeah.
equipment is such a hassle.
The detail is what drove me out of it too. I don't like detail. I like branding and like vision and big picture. And it was like, if this isn't exactly right, it's going to change the profile. Or if it's not perfectly clean, you could infect the whole batch. And I did have an infected batch.
Yeah.
You got to be, you got scientists. You gotta be legit.
Yeah, more than anything, brewing beer is about cleaning things.
Cleaning things, yeah.
Like you're saying, keeping it sanitized so that you don't have an infected batch and you gotta dump it. There's nothing worse than dumping 5 gallons of beer down the drain.
And when you have to dump it, oh, that's good. And when you have to dump it, it's after. It's like, have you ever seen beer brew? Have you ever like brewed a batch? It like bubbles and then there's heat and you can smell it and you're like, oh, it smells so good. It's gonna be good. And then when you finally pop it open, if it's, well, depending on what kind of carboy you're using, what equipment you're using, and then you see this like mold on the top, and you're like, oh shit. Yeah, it takes a scientist. It takes someone precise.
Yeah, it's a very detail-oriented type of thing. The other thing is it just takes so long. Like it's a 8-hour brew day, depending on, like maybe you can cut it down to 5, but still a very long day of brewing and cleaning. And then you got to wait 2 weeks for it to ferment. And then you got to carbonate it for another day to 3 days, and then you can finally enjoy it. But then sometimes it's like, oh, this beer has to rest. We want like, it's like really bright right now. Like that's not really what I was going for. Let it settle down. Or it's like, oh, this beer is junk. What can I add to it now to make it better? And it's like after 3 weeks and it's a junk beer.
Yeah. That sucks. Yeah. And then, if you're bottling too. Like maybe you prepped or cleaned all these bottles and then now it's infected there's a lot that goes into it. So where's the company at now? Where are you looking to do more direct to consumer? Are you looking to get in like Costco, all of the above? You ever heard of like Mana Up?
Yeah.
That seems like a perfect, have you done that?
I haven't. One of the things holding me back is one of the requirements is like you need to be full-time dedicated to that. I was like,
you have another job. Yeah. I get that.
But I've done, so to your first question, where is the company now? I feel like, so we've made a year of sales in, I think, June.
Okay.
And for me, I've been thinking back like what this year was, and it was basically just laying the foundation. Figuring out like, oh, people don't like hop water. Like, what can I do next? And then, oh, people like Mamaki, but you didn't see our first cans. It was all like just a small label like that, and it's just my handwriting, like Mamaki.
More
Mamaki
minimalist, black and white minimalist.
Yeah, because a label is so expensive, and it was to test it out. So I was like, I'm just gonna print a blank label that says Manu Brewing, and I'll write what it is. That way, I can buy 1,000 of these labels, and then it can be anything. But
you could go for that like American Apparel minimalist type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But this, I took my body board that I bought is like a burgundy, and so I tagged you on Instagram. I put this on it, and this is a very Instagrammable, like whether you live Hawaii or on vacation, this is a nice.
Yeah, I'm really proud of these. So I didn't design them, but my friend Micah Gomes, follow him on Instagram.
Micah Gomes, shout out.
He is a graphic designer, and he he designed these for me. But so I told him I wanted Pai Pai o Heia, or Heia fish pond, and send him some pictures, and he knows what it looks like as well. But so yeah, this is his artistic representation of Pai Pai o Heia.
Why? Why did you want? Because you're not from Kaneohe, right?
I'm not, but Heia is one of my favorite places. I've been going there since 7th grade, like volunteering. Like when I started going, I think they started in 2000, right around there is when like that organization was kind of founded. Maybe a little bit before that, and then so I was there 2005, 6-ish.
Okay.
And they were still at the beginning of the pond. I don't know if you've seen it now, but it's all cleared out.
You know what? I never even been.
Oh, really? You should go. It's amazing.
I gotta go.
Yeah. They have volunteer days on every other Saturday.
Okay.
Or they have fishing, so you can go out, catch the invasives in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's someplace that I think everybody should experience. It's a very special place. And there's no manual labor harder that I've ever done in my life than being a 7th grader, moving coral and rocks on that rock wall out there.
Oh, okay. So that's why it's special to you.
No, it's special to me for a lot of reasons, but what I wanted to kind of convey with this label is the great example that Pai Pai has set, where they've taken this fish pond that was built by our ancestors 600 to 800 years ago, and recognized how amazing of a feat that was, and they restored it and are bringing it to the forefront today, taking all of the history, knowledge, and tradition that our ancestors used and just making it so that we can use it today. So they're bringing the history to us right now.
Okay.
And that's the example that I'm trying to follow, where I didn't invent Mamaki, like I didn't discover it or anything. Our ancestors knew all of the medicinal benefits of Mamaki like way before anybody, right? Even like journal articles only started showing the health benefits of Mamaki 2007, I think, was one of the main articles. Yeah, kind of a
recent advent, right?
Yeah.
When I was a kid, no one talked about Mamaki tea. I never even heard of it.
Yeah.
I'm sure like Hawaiians knew, but I just wasn't mainstream at all, for sure, yeah.
Yeah, and now it's like a superfood, right?
Yeah. My cousin was like, bro, you heard of Mamaki? I was like, no. He's like, I can get you some from Big Island, but like it was a drug or something. Yeah. Which I guess it is. It's medicinal, right?
Yeah. So that's what I'm trying to do, is take this amazing plant that's been around for thousands and thousands of years and bring it to the forefront, just with a little bit of a twist,
I think it's an amazing thing. What is Manu? What's Manu Brewing?
So Manu is bird.
Manu is bird.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so the reason I chose Manu Brewing is I feel like native birds are a perfect simile to what native Hawaiian people are, where there's a lot of native birds out there, but it's like how often do you actually see them, right?
Yeah.
Or hear them? So it's also to like just get people thinking about like, what is Manu? What is the native bird? Like, when's the last time I saw one? And think like, oh, now whenever I'm out, I'm like, oh, look at that Eva up there. Like, it's pretty. I thought
Eva is bird, right?
Eva is a specific type of bird.
Oh, Eva is a specific type.
Yeah.
Oh, Manu is the broad word for bird.
Yeah, Manu is the broad, and then Eva is a great frigate.
So Haleiwa had certain birds.
Yeah, so Haleiwa, House of the Eva.
Yeah.
Haleiwa.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that's why when you go to the North Shore, if you look up, you might see one.
Certain bird.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. The Eva bird. Oh, I didn't know that.
Or even like it's super rare on Oahu, but like the forest birds, I don't think I've ever seen one on Oahu. How about you go to the Big Island and you might come across Elepaio, EEV, all those kinds of things, right?
Oh, okay.
So just putting the effort to see these birds, putting the effort to see the Native Hawaiian population, the Native Hawaiian community. So just like a lot of nobody would ever know without talking to me about it.
Yeah. Well,
But-
the good news is, although that stuff's not obvious, it freaking looks amazing. So shout out to your friend. What's his name?
Micah Gomes.
Micah Gomes.
Yeah, I think his Instagram is Meeks Design, MEEKS Design.
Okay. Yeah, it looks dope. Looks really good. Hey, aloha everyone. This is Derek Okahashi, host of Podcast Hawaii. Thank you for listening. I hope you're enjoying the show. I have two things to ask. Whether you're listening to this on a streaming platform or on YouTube, please go comment and follow and do all the things to gas us up and keep us going. And in that comment, let me know who you'd like for me to have a conversation with next. Is there an interesting university professor, someone who owns a business, a controversial person, a politician, whoever you want to see on this show, please let me know in the comment section of whatever platform you're on. Also, I am a real estate agent and a real estate team leader. My small team, Core Team Hawaii, is one of the top real estate teams in all of Hawaii. So if you have anything in real estate, if you have any need at all in real estate, please think of Core Team Hawaii first. Go to coreteamhawaii.com. The link will be in the description of all of these shows moving forward. Book a call with me. Let's get you taken care of in real estate. Back to the show. So what about you? Where are you from? You went earlier. I heard you went Kamehameha.
Yeah, I went to Kamehameha, graduated in 2010, but I was there from middle school to high school.
Okay.
And then prior to that, I went to Pro Ridge Elementary.
Oh,
So
okay.
I grew up in Aiea, but born and raised in Waipio. Yeah.
Oh, like Kaunohi. Oh,
Yeah. Right on Newtown
okay.
area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, right on. That's where in 2010, that's where my nieces are from. Like my whole in-laws are all Aiea people. So went Kamehameha, and then you're an engineer, so where'd you go college?
So I went to San Diego State
University?
and
Okay.
did my bachelor's there. Did the 5-year program because I don't know why, but engineering requires like way more credits than anyone else.
Makes sense. Yeah, it makes sense.
And then after that, I went to the University of Colorado Boulder and did my master's there.
Oh, that's cool. How'd you
Yeah.
like Boulder?
It's great.
Yeah?
It's awesome.
Because San Diego is very similar to Hawaii weather. It's closest on the mainland as you can get.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not Hawaii, but in all of the mainland, San Diego is probably the closest. And, and vibes too, right? Like beach and surfing, trucker hats, like whatever. Boulder's a different thing. I've been to Boulder once, and I think it's super cool. But and Colorado has a population of Hawaiians, right? Because it's part of the Western undergraduate exchange program. So some kids choose Colorado, UC Colorado, and I don't know, certain colleges for.
I don't remember the specific name of the UI school in Colorado, but it's on the western border of Colorado. So I've actually never been to that school because I went to Boulder, which is in like central Colorado.
Yeah.
Colorado's a really big state.
Yeah. Boulder's like the hippie town, right?
Yeah, Boulder's.
But also bougie. Like there's something about. So on my other channel, my real estate YouTube channel, I was in Manoa, and I've lived in the Bay Area for a long time. So Berkeley, Oakland, Alameda, San Jose, I worked at Stanford, and I was trying to put my finger on it. I was like, what is it about Manoa? And I had to say it off camera because it's a real estate channel. I kind of got to throttle myself a bit. But I kind of snapped my finger. I clapped my hands, and I told my video guy, I was like, wealthy liberals. There's something about a town with wealthy liberal people that makes it kind of cool. Like, there's like cool dining, cool things to do. There's an REI, like things like that, And Boulder is kind of that town, yeah?
Yeah, you're right. So it started out as a hippie town, and then those hippies grew up to be very wealthy.
They grew up, They invented like beeswax chapstick or something.
It's a very wealthy area. And also, there's a green band around it, so there's only so much expansion that can happen within the city.
What's a green band?
Green band meaning
like you can't develop it zoned ag or something.
Yeah, it's zoned like preserve or what have you. So just the square mileage of Boulder will never go past that, and even the height they have a zoning restriction on how high a building can be.
Yeah.
So land is really limited, which means it's going to be really expensive, and you're gonna hit those rich people who are gonna make it fancy.
It's cool. I'm not a wealthy liberal per se, but I like wealthy liberal towns. I love it. They're cool. What do you think? They're cool, huh?
I was in San Rafael.
San Rafael.
San Rafael's a little bit different.
It's a little different, yeah.
I like I like this kind of stuff.
You like, yeah. Because I mean, just in in a blue collar conservative town, they may be less likely to go spend $5 on a sparkling mamaki can or something, right?
Yeah.
I hope that more people do, because everybody needs antioxidants and an amazing drink. But there's something about, I don't know, something about those towns, Berkeley,
Yeah.
Boulder,
What is price?
Bend, Oregon. I don't know, these kind of price point. I don't know, how much are these things?
Yeah, so a can starts out at $4.25, and if you
Okay.
buy a 4-pack, then it's $16, so $4 a can.
But they're big, so it's
Yeah,
like
they are
buying
big.
a specialty beer, like a big specialty beer. It's not like a little Coke can. Yeah, it's a different thing. And you can get it. I mean, that was kind of more of an ending question, but let's not end yet. You can get these Whole Foods.
Right now, on the
Mainly farmers
website, it
market?
says we're at Down to Earth, Pro Ridge, and Cool Mart. We're not there.
Yeah, I know, because we're near we're right there, and I kept looking. I was like, bro, I don't see them.
Yeah, so I got the approval to sell to them. It's just I can only make so much. So right now, I can only make enough to sell it at Pro Ridge Farmers Market. But starting this month, I'll also be at Kailua Farmers Market.
Okay.
And then the goal is to be in all the Down to Earths by the end of this month or by the beginning of August.
Okay.
Yeah. So then it'll be easier for people to find.
If we can, if we saw like a certain pack in like Costco, but the demand for you to make those would be huge, right?
Yeah.
Because Costco's big pallets and pallets, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I can't imagine how many cans that they would order. I don't have the capacity to do any of that. So I did. You had mentioned Mana Up earlier. I did a couple of business programs. One of them being Kuhana, which is run by the Council for Native Hawaiian Advancement.
Okay.
And that's a business program where they help you write your business plan. And then I went and did Pre-X Hawaii, which is kind of like a small, like little accelerator program.
Okay.
And I shouldn't say little. They're a great program.
Okay.
It's just like the beginning of an accelerator program is what it is. So then I used all of what I learned there and was able to go to Kamehameha schools, and they have this program called the Food Systems Fund.
Okay.
And so I got a loan from them to buy some equipment to make more of this. So
Okay.
I bought a canning line, but that
Do
canning
you have
line,
your own canning line?
I have my own canning line. It's a small one.
Oh, okay.
It does.
I just picture this huge warehouse with like,
no,
like
it's like this big.
Oh, okay.
It's real small.
So you're like manually pulling stuff down?
No, right now I'm manually doing everything, and it
Yeah.
sucks. It takes me like 1 minute to make one of these cans.
So if I buy one of these, there's literal labor. Like your labor's in this can,
Yeah.
right? It's not leveraged out, and
Yeah, we're getting close to 10,000 cans sold. I've canned every single one of them.
this is truly craft.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is why I want it for like social occasions. I'm trying not to drink as much, and I'm like, this is super craft. Like it's a Hawaii boy, it's a brewed beverage, like all the things, and I think
All the
that's super
things.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's super cool.
Yeah, but yeah, it is cool. It's just I hate canning. Like
Yeah.
so, I take a can, I put it in my filler machine, I wait for it to fill up, I take those cans, I put a lid on, and then I seam it, and I do that just hours,
Yeah.
and it's mind numbing. And if I stop to do anything, then just like nothing happens.
Right,
So I
right.
can't take a break, or if I do take a break, it's just done.
You gotta buy pizza and invite the boys over.
I don't want anybody else to feel the pain of just standing there canning. But I've gotten down to a science, like I said, 1 to 2 cans a minute. But so the canning line that I bought can do up to 15 cans a minute.
Okay.
So I just be churning, and all I have to do is just put the cans in, and I get a finished can out.
Oh yeah.
So I'm really looking forward to getting that online. And then once that's there, then you'll find me in Down to Earth.
Then you'll be down to earth, yeah, so you can fulfill the orders.
Yeah.
Well, so you went to. I want to get back to more about you. So you San Diego to Boulder. We've established it's a cool, wealthy, liberal town.
Yeah, I will say though, so Boulder being very cool, they're they're susceptible to all the other things that come with limited land and high prices, where it's there's always somebody being priced out, right? So
Yeah.
especially it being a college town, like the university is probably like most of the people there, and then it's like rich doctors and people like that.
Yeah. So if you were an old school OG Boulder family, it just gets harder and harder to
Exactly.
stay. Yeah, Hawaii kind of problems.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. My auntie, my wife's auntie, who just left yesterday to go back to Colorado, they had there's an area in Colorado, in Boulder, that's called like the Iron Tables or something.
The Flatirons.
Flatirons. Yeah. They had one like a 1800s log cabin in front of it.
Wow.
It's like this group of cabins, and they just sold it. But I like Boulder. We're gonna go in October and go to Boulder, Denver, all the stuff. But when did right after you got your master's, did you move back to Hawaii, or did you stay on the mainland?
I was fun employed for a while.
Fun employed?
Yeah, fun employed.
What is fun? So you're not working and having fun? Is that it?
Well, you're unemployed, but yeah, hopefully having fun.
Yeah.
At a certain point in time, you can't call it unemployed because it's just like I was constantly just like applying to places, getting rejected, like not even hearing back. So yeah,
really,
you gotta
with a
make it fun.
master's?
Yeah, people don't want to hire. I guess they want experience, but also education. But it's like, how are you supposed to do both, right?
Yeah, you got to go and intern, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But even the intern, like, that was a really low-level internship. I'm like, it's an internship. What do you expect?
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
So couldn't get jobs?
I could not get a job for the longest time. I don't know why.
Wow.
Yeah. But I kept plugging. I traveled to Japan for a little bit, took a little bit of a break. And then, came back and was applying and kind of hanging out in Boulder.
Yeah.
Wanted to travel more, didn't have money. So, just hung out in Boulder. And then eventually I got a job. I got hired over on Oahu. And then I made the transition to October 2018 is when I moved back.
Okay. So how many years were you gone? Like 8
years.
So 7-ish was education and an extra fun employed year?
Yeah, so 5 undergrad, 2.5 grad school, and then about half a year of fun employment.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like business, and I think about school a certain way, and I left and I came back home and grew up and all these things. And so I always tend to ask people, kind of like growth minded, like, what would you say to people in Hawaii questions? So excuse me, it's not about tea, right? But would you trade it? Like, why didn't you go to UH? Do you think you'd have the same worldview, or you'd be as well rounded if you didn't leave Hawaii? Do you think it's healthy to leave Hawaii and come back and bring that with you?
That's a great question. I would say, I guess it depends what you want, right?
Yeah.
I wanted to experience more of, I guess, things that Hawaii couldn't offer.
Okay.
So going to the mainland and being the minority.
Yeah. I mean, especially having grown up and then from middle school went to Kamehameha, where it's like, it's its own thing, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing like that in the world. So Boulder is, far removed from camp schools, Kapalama campus, or whatever,
Yeah,
it's a big,
exactly.
different thing.
And, it is a transition. So for people that want to go away, it is a transition. San Diego is probably like the easiest transition you can make.
Yeah.
And then you can step out and go like to the south.
Yeah.
But yeah, for somebody that wants to really embed themselves in the Hawaiian culture, like go to UH, right? Like,
Yeah.
Don't leave, because there's definitely, so as much as I went to the mainland to gain education, specifically, so I did my engineering specifically to help Hawaii's energy infrastructure and future, so that I was away for 8 years, but with the plan of coming back and developing Hawaii's energy situations.
Mm-hmm.
But, I was thousands of miles away, really disconnected.
Yeah.
Whereas if your desire is like always to be in that Hawaiian mindset, then like Yeah.
So just
stay.
whatever you want.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I'm a little more like, yeah, you gotta leave, but I'm looking at it through my own lens. You know, you're right. You know, you're right. But I needed to leave. My mind was just everything Hawaii, and the only reason I left because I wasn't doing anything productive. Like went to LCC for 4 semesters and got like 6 credits, and it's like 2 classes out of 16 or something. And then I just kind of partied, and I hated every job I had, and I was like, well, time to get my life together. So I joined the Coast Guard, and I became educated and fell in love with learning after I got away from college and university. And for me, I felt like it was necessary to leave. I felt like if I stayed home, I would have maybe entered a downward spiral. Maybe not. But I just think so many people are like, I could never leave. I would never leave. I think it's good. I think it's good to stretch your mind. Even if you're like this guy here running the cameras, like he's from Sacramento, and now he came to Hawaii to experience stuff. I think it's good. But yeah, I mean, I guess different strokes for different folks. So.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing like jump-starting a change in your mindset than completely moving away from where you grew up and lived.
Yeah, being a minority, like you said. How was that? How was it being a minority? San Diego and Boulder aren't like really racist or places or anything.
Well, San Diego's fine. San Diego is still like very much a melting pot.
Yeah.
Boulder is very... is a very white area.
Boulder is white, yeah.
Yeah. My friend from Iowa, one of my best friends from Iowa, he was like, grew up in Iowa, right? He's like, this is the whitest place I've ever been.
yeah. From Iowa.
Yeah.
Wow.
But, you know, it was a liberal area, right? So everybody's like generally cool about it. It's the microaggressions. It's like where they don't even like realize that they're doing something off, but it's like, oh, why did you say that to me?
Like what? Like, what would be an example? Because I was at Stanford, like epicenter of like super left liberal, you know, stuff, and microaggressions was a word that got used by the time I was leaving that area. Not even a word that was really in my vocabulary, but well, like what's an example?
I have a bad memory, you know, try and like throw these bad memories out as well. But one that I remember, I was with my brother and we were drinking at this like German style bar where they give you the full liters, you know, those really big ones.
Okay.
And for some reason, like, I don't know, I was maybe on my 2nd beer at that point in time, or no, we had just gotten there. So we ordered a beer. And the waitress brings him out. And she's like, good luck. And I was like, I never said that to like anybody else. But like the 2 Asian guys, like, oh, we're going to have a hard time drinking this beer.
Oh, yeah.
You know, that's like a really minor one. But it's just like, why did you say that to us? Yeah, there's like other situations that are like more pointed. And
I got you, yeah. You know Jeremy Lin, the basketball player? Mm. He was on a podcast I was listening to, and he said, you know, when they talk about my athleticism, they say, oh, he's shockingly fast. Oh, he's surprisingly can do this or that. And he was like, they don't say that about, you know, black or even white players, but everything's shocking that I can do it. And I was like, yeah, I guess so. I could see you getting that. Yeah, I was born in the South and got like true racism, like not micro, like macro aggressions. And so like I remember I was fishing one time and this guy riding his bike up and down the place where we were fishing, he's like, what's up, Charlie? And my brother was like, who was 14 years older than me, he's like, I'll kick your freaking ass. And I was like, why? He just thought my name was Charlie. And I learned in that moment it's a derogatory term for Vietnamese people after the war, right? And N-word, like, oh, it was the South in the 90s. And so I don't know. I don't. That kind of stuff doesn't bother me. I've developed thick skin. When I was at Stanford, I remember I asked this girl, I was like, oh, where are you from? Because in Hawaii, we do that, right? It's like, oh, so you Japanese Hawaiian then? Oh, you're in Kamehameha, or your dad's Hawaiian or your mom? Like, we'll do that kind of thing, and no one's offended. Mm-hmm. And I was like, she was African of some sort. And I was very curious. I wanted to like celebrate that. I was like, oh, where are you from? What's your accent? And she was like, paused and looked at me and was like, it shouldn't matter. And I was like, oh no, it doesn't. But I just like I was just curious, and I had to like all of a sudden I'm thinking like HR, right? And that environment kind of sucked too. You couldn't just have like a normal person conversation.
Yeah.
Everything was polarized and heightened, you know.
Yeah, that seems like way on the extreme. Of
Yeah,
like,
it was Stanford, Berkeley.
Yeah.
I figured Boulder would be a bit like that too.
Yeah.
And maybe it is more now than from because when did you leave?
2018. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's probably a little more now, but
Yeah.
whatever.
But yeah, okay. Not to take away, not take away, but
No,
I'm just
whatever.
saying, like,
Go wherever with it.
yeah, like racism and microaggressions, very different things, and yeah, to say that like for me, microaggressions are more just like an irritating thing, like
Yeah.
who does these things type of thing, like
Just
like,
disrespectful
yeah,
a
like,
little.
what's the
without
point?
knowing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But racism, completely different thing.
Did you, when you would tell people, oh, I'm from Hawaii, in Boulder, or even in San Diego, was it like a extra points, cool card? Because I found that when I was in California, they'd be like, oh, where are you from? Or whatever. And I'm like, oh, I'm from Hawaii. And they'd be like, oh, I go to Maui every year. Or like, oh, I always go to Princeville on Kauai. It's my favorite spot on earth.
Yeah.
Or Kona. Or,
No, I don't remember too many people making like that. Like those are conversations that sound like fun, where they're like taking a step further, right? But most it's like, oh, do you surf?
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, you must be good at surfing. Did you snowboard while you were there?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
picked up snowboarding, and I love it. It's so fun.
Yeah.
It's nice. It's like I like surfing too, but the comparison is like snowboarding. You don't gotta paddle for your wave.
Yeah.
It's great. You just take the lift right back up. It hurts when you fall.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
You're not falling into the water. You can get a concussion, but yeah, it's so fun.
Yeah, I like snowboarding in Tahoe too.
It's so expensive though.
It is expensive, and it's an event, right? Like we can be like, oh, it's 6 p.m., but it's summer. I can go catch a couple.
Mm-hmm.
If you're gonna snowboard, it's like it's an event.
Yeah.
It's a whole event.
Yeah.
Half your day. It's hard. Maybe some people who live in those mountainous towns who have season passes or work there sneak in an hour, but that's not normal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it takes a lot of money and effort to go snowboard.
Yeah, it is an event, like you're saying. Like, oh, we're gonna drive up the night before, and then we got this place. I'm like, oh man, I just want to sleep.
Yeah.
Can we just wake up later and go? Yeah, but it's so fun.
What so with Manu Brewing, is it your goal for it to replace any job you ever have? Like, do you want to be full entrepreneurial? Do you want to like maybe partner with someone to bring that vision to life and stay in your field of directing Hawaii's energy resources in the future? Like, what's your big vision, 10-year goal?
I'm not opposed to like any partnerships or like anybody ever wants to have a conversation. I feel like it's irresponsible of me not to like at least have that conversation of like, oh, if we were to do something together, or if like I were to buy into the company type of deal. As far as replacing my job, I don't know. We'll see. I guess it would have to be pretty substantial company to do that. But at the same time, it's like I can't put my whole effort behind Manu Brewing while still working 9 to 5, right?
Yeah.
But so right now, it's like a balance of how far can I get this company while still doing everything else. And then 10 years from now, I hope to be, in Costco, in all these different places. But more importantly, I'd like everybody to know what Mamaki is. Because the number one question I get right now is, what is Mamaki? Mm-hmm. And, explaining it to them, I have no issues with doing that. Like, farmers markets, or education at farmers markets is like one of the reasons that I'm there every Saturday.
Yeah.
But yeah, if in 10 years everybody knows what Mamaki is and everybody loves my product, then that's a win for me.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, I hope that this thing goes big and it's everywhere, because I literally have been trying to buy it since I met you, and I couldn't find it. So where right now people can find you at farmers markets?
Yeah, right now you can find me at Pro Ridge and Kailua. So Pro Ridge is every Saturday 8 to 12. And then Kailua is every Sunday, 8 to 12.
Okay. And sooner or later, Whole Foods and Down to Earth?
Down to Earth, and then Whole Foods and Foodland, that's going to take longer.
That's going to take longer.
Yeah.
So Down to Earth sooner, like this year, 2023?
By August, we should be
Oh,
there.
in a month. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And if someone, do you do any direct to consumer? Like, do you have like a payment gateway on your website or anything where they can buy and there's deliveries like a co-op sort of?
Yeah, so I'm bringing online an online sales portal. That should be, within the next couple of months. But right now, I feel like you just email me. Like, go to our website, contact us there.
Yeah.
You email me, we'll figure it out. The issue is shipping. 16 ounces, right?
Yeah.
You can fit 16 of these in a large flat rate box. Large flat rate box is $20 for shipping.
Yeah.
So it's like, are there people out there willing to pay $20 to ship 16 cans to them? So it's like,
It's like an extra $1 and whatever per.
yeah.
Yeah.
Essentially, you're buying 2 8-packs, so call it $70 plus
Yeah.
another $20 for shipping. So it's $90 for 16 drinks.
Yeah.
And like you're saying, like, do people like there's something like a switch in your head, like, I'll pay that or I won't pay that.
You know, farmers market. I have a business idea for farmers markets, and I have too many ideas and I can't do it. It would take away from all the other important things that we do. But farmers markets are like a mini vacation. When you go on vacation, your pockets get loose, right? You're like, oh yeah, so like we were just at Ko'olina with the auntie from Colorado, $17 Mai Tai she's buying, right? Because you're at the lagoon, it's like, yeah, just buy them. Back home, she would never. Farmers markets are like a little hour or two of that sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? Like that, you lose your mind and you buy like a $10 bar of soap.
Yeah.
And so I think luxury product, high-end product, I don't know, a mamaki like this kind of has to be around, like you said, down to earth, Whole Foods, farmers markets. What about partnering with certain like coffee shops and shave ice places where tourists would be?
Yeah.
Like Honolulu Coffee or Island Vintage, like a coffee shop in Waikiki or Ward or Kaka'ako. Seems like that'd be the perfect place.
Yeah, it's definitely in the plans. I haven't.
One thing at a time.
Yeah, I haven't, like you said, all these things in your head, right?
Yeah.
So I have all these plans, but the number one priority has just been like getting to the point where I can make enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, once that happens, then I have kegs. So, be in bars. These are great mixers. You know, if you're.
I was wondering earlier, but I didn't want to like disrespect your product. And like, can we mix vodka into this?
That's a great question because like I've battled with that. Like, is it okay to mix these like culturally? Like, put alcohol in this? But then I went and did an event, and then everybody like at Pai Pai Ohei'a, and everybody was mixing it, and I was like, these are some of the most down to earth Hawaiian people that I know.
Yeah.
They're cool with it. So like that was my little market research. Was like they're cool with it. I don't see a problem
make
with
some,
it.
and then you can like market it next to a little ounce of vodka or something is like a thing you can do. Like,
So I was at an event with Kohana Rum, and I was like, let me just try and put some of your kokoleke rum in this. And you put a shot of chocolate of their kokoleke rum.
that's the really dark
the
honey
dark
and
one.
chocolate one.
Yeah,
Yeah, that tastes good.
It's super good.
Yeah.
And put a little shot of that in the ginger. Delicious.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Or like you can start making Moscow mules with the ginger one, mojitos with the mint
yeah.
one. Yeah.
Oh, that has to be a thing. The ginger one with that rum.
Mm-hmm.
What do you call that? It's not a Moscow mule, right? It's a mamaki mule. Well,
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
know. But you're
a-
the name guy. You come up with one. Text it
yeah,
to me.
it'll probably like consume my next 2 days trying to like market your company I don't own. Well, yeah. That sounds good, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, so the thing is like since I don't drink too much, like I haven't bothered experimenting, but it's like I know it's like, oh, those are some things that I could start messing around with. But then I gotta start drinking again.
Yeah.
Or I gotta do the wine taster, right? Just taste it and spit it out. I don't want to waste.
Yeah, like waste that. Oh, it'd be cool to have like a what are they, like the bartenders who are real craftsmen, like put smoke and glass. What are those? I don't know, artisan craft drink makers or whatever.
Mixologists.
Mixologists.
Yeah.
Have them do like a little recorded thing with your product.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
Yeah, all in the plans. Yeah, a lot of plans.
I'm excited. I don't know. I just like it. I like your product, and I like business, and I like branding, and so that's why we wanted to have you on here. What any last words for, the young entrepreneurs of Hawaii, or just about your product? Like, if this podcast is going to reach all of Hawaii, what would you want to leave them with? Positive words about either, just for Hawaii to live by, or your company.
Yeah, well, one of the questions at Paipai Oheia that they ask after like the volunteers help out is like, how many of you ate something that came from Hawaii today? And it's like, you think about it, chances are you didn't really eat anything that's locally grown.
7-Eleven musubi no count.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't count.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, just thinking about like, what did I eat that came from Hawaii? Like, what do I use that comes from Hawaii? It's like very little bit things, right?
Yeah.
So just keep that in your mind and ask yourself that, like, kind of constantly, like, what can I do to like continue to support not only local businesses but like local food in Hawaii altogether, because 90% of our food is imported, right? And so yeah, if like we as a people can start to just do a little bit at a time of supporting all of these local businesses, all of these local food products, then I think we'd be a little bit better place, like physically, mentally, and also like financially, because we're supporting keeping money in Hawaii. So
Yeah.
can't go wrong with that.
I love it. So elevate your consciousness around health, around Hawaii resources,
Yeah.
your consumer behavior, right?
Mm-hmm.
And buy Sparkling Mamaki Tea. I love it. Thanks for being here, man.
Yeah,
if I can ever help you in business, that's what I'm obsessive about: business, leverage, branding, financial modeling. So I hear about your canning. I'm thinking of how you can get distributors at different farmers markets and scale and all that. So if I can ever help you in any way, please hit me up.
Yeah, I got your
be
number
happy.
now.
Yeah. All right, man. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, awesome. Manu Brewing.